Okay, so the next question again was regarding hair and how to pop in hair. I'm going to use my Kate Winslet here as an example again. So her hair, she's got somewhere it shows where it's growing off of the surface of her face, right? And then there's some areas where it's just like wisping over top of parts of her face. So that's what I transferred when I was doing my gridding. In some cases, I drew strands of hair that were growing outwards. So you're just going to take a few lines and show, it doesn't have to be like a million little hair follicles, just a couple, okay? And then in some areas, it was just wisped over top of her face, okay? And in which case, I'm not going to go in and draw every single strand of hair, right? So if you started doing this, you want to avoid doing that. We know that there is a lot of hair here, but you don't have to illustrate every single strand of hair. What you want to do is just communicate to the viewer what direction the hair is growing in. So she's got a little bit of hair flowing in this direction, in which case I'll just do like just a couple strands, right? And then it kind of curves down in this area behind this piece that's flowing in front. So maybe this piece is flowing in front here, and then I've got a few pieces tucked in behind. Okay, and then there's more flowing in the back, kind of in different directions. This is enough information to show, again, the texture of the hair and the direction of the hair. I do not have to draw every single tiny strand of hair in, okay? And then here, as we go lower on the face, it kind of flows away, and then she's got some darker bits kind of in a sideburn area above the ear, okay? So it's gonna flow away. And actually, I didn't finish drawing the ear in here, but there would be an ear somewhere in here. So again, this kind of just flows off of her face, and I'm not going to do a million strands of hair. I'm just going to do a couple to show the direction, and then the rest of her hair flows downwards. There's some curled pieces. Okay, if you have curly hair, if you're doing someone with curly hair, again, you don't want to do this. Okay, all you want to do, if you had someone with softer curls, just do some wispy lines to show, right, that the person has the odd curl. Or again, if you have something like very tight curls, like an afro, you could do like just some textured lines to show like in the odd area that there's really tight curls there, okay? Just like here, the odd line showing the direction and the texture of the hair. Here it's smooth and flowy and it's flowing away. Here it's moving away from the face, okay? And the next thing that you're gonna do is you're just going to be blocking in areas of value. So some areas here are really, really dark, okay? As you can see, around her face especially, the hair is quite dark. And then there's areas where she's got a lot of blonde highlights where it almost seems like it's white, if not a really light silver, okay? So you're gonna go back now and you're literally just going to recreate those values. So her roots were really dark, so I'm gonna add some hatching over top of them to darken that area. Okay, if you're smudging with a Q-tip or with a stomp, okay, you can kind of lightly and then again reintroduce those odd lines, just those few, showing the direction of hair. Okay, if your person has extremely dark hair, in my case, right, sorry, it's going from dark into a light. So to finish this example, I'm going to continue building up my gray until it kind of works. Okay, Okay, there's a little bit of a shadow on her face in here too. But her hair goes back into blonde. So what I like to do is reintroduce the texture of the hair using my eraser. I go at this area, her hair is going to be nice and clean. So I'm just going to wisp back into it so that it looks like her roots are fading into a blonde. Okay, and then again, kind of blend in those areas by adding the odd line. Right? And if the hair then goes back into a dark shade down here, okay, you're going to find that area of hair. Again, you're not going to draw every single strand of hair. You're just going to draw the few that describe the texture and the direction. And then again, go back in. And sheet that area in, whether you're hatching or cross hatching or blending. Okay, so it's all a matter of block shading and just doing a few lines on top to show the direction and the texture. If your hair was, say, an afro and it was really curly, right, you would do the same. You would draw the exterior of the hair with that really tight kind of textured line, and then again you would shade it in as dark as you need to. So in the few examples that you guys showed me, your person might have really dark hair. Maybe they have a full head of hair that's really dark. All you're doing again is you're doing the few lines to describe the exterior shape of the hair, and then you're going to go in and you're going to cover it with the appropriate value that you see. So hopefully that helps. Okay, let me see if I could find a few examples here. Maybe I can pull some up on my computer that have been done before. But it's not going to probably record. Yeah, I'm going to have to show you guys through images that I post. Here is an example of a student's artwork where the girl has very dark hair. I actually docked marks here because I feel like all she did was just roughly color it in. I feel like her shading could have been smoother. If she was hatching, she could have hatched a little bit more. But again, here she almost drew every single little line, right, on the top of the drawing. All she needed to do was just to draw, right, the odd wisp of hair, okay? And then what she could have done was just brought in the dark value of the hair and just blended it into the forehead. Okay, so again, rather than drawing every single strand of hair, do the odd strand, show the direction that the hair is growing in. As opposed to stressing over every single little strand. This also looks much more natural from a distance. Okay, so even if your person has really dark hair, you will be blocking in the value that you see, but you want to make sure that it's still light enough of a gray for you to show like the odd line describing the way that the hair is styled. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Again, it doesn't matter whether you're drawing soft curls or the odd line describing a tighter curl. Okay, but it's just the odd line describing the overall texture and direction, and then just blocking in highlights. You can go back in, add some highlights or some lighter areas with your eraser if you've added too much pencil to your paper, if you want to fade hair out from lighter to darker. If there's light shining on hair, oftentimes if your individual has very shiny hair, see they have very like loose curls, and you want to illustrate curls that are kind of nice and plump, okay, you can illustrate a curl, the odd curl like this, and then again, add some shading to the parts of the curl that are bent inwards. And then lighten, add a little bit of a highlight to the plumper area of the curl that's sticking out. Okay, and then you can go back in and add the odd. Right, so hopefully that helps you guys out. Again, you're not stressing about drawing every single strand of hair. It's just minimal line work to communicate how the hair is styled and whether the hair is wrapped or flowing across the surface of the face or coming out because it's pulled back or maybe styled upwards and very short.